Hey everyone, my name is Mick, and today I'll show you a tutorial on doing a camera movement to a main object of interest and return back to the player. And this is going to be a simple code. Um, so we'll start out with like a simple player movement. You go up, left, right, up, down. You know, usually you can get this from Bracky's other, other tutorials. Easy to get. Okay, perfect. So now that we have that, let's create like a main object of interest. In this case, we'll say it's a key. So let's drag our key to the scene. And let's put this key somewhere, let's say about here, out of the camera sight. Yeah, this is a good point. Okay, perfect. All right, so with the key, we're gonna create a tag here. So in this case, I already have my tag created. And then you can create yours, call it whatever you want. In this case, I'll call mine key. It's easy to follow. All right. So now we're gonna go back to our player and make sure to have the player tag as well in here. Okay, perfect. Now we can create the script on our main camera manager here. So let's do a add component. Let's do a new script. And then let's call this camera manager. Here we go. All right, perfect. Let's open this in Visual Studio, C#. All right, let's delete this. All right, and then now let's add a few scripts in here. Let's add a couple of variables here. Let's add a speed. Definitely we'll need to move the camera through speed, so let's add private float speed. We'll just call it speed. And then we'll serialize this field. So we'll say serializable field. Okay, perfect. And then we're gonna need two types of transforms. One for the player and then another for the target of interest. In this case, we'll do a private transform. Let's call this one target. Another one called private transform. And then we'll call this one player. Perfect. All right. So now that we have those three variables in, we're gonna do a couple functions. Let's do the void awake. Let's say on awake. Let's declare these two transforms here. One for the target. So let's get target, and let's set that equal to a game object dot find object with tag. Now there's two of them. There's objects with tag and then there's object. So let's do object with tag. So we're gonna do a parenthesis here, quotation for the string, and in this case the tag was key, right? Not target, sorry, key. All right, perfect. We're gonna do after this is a dot transform. And we're gonna close out with a semicolon. Perfect. Now let's do player. We'll do the same thing. Equals game object find with key tag. And in case instead of key, we're gonna change this to player. Perfect. All right. So now we can do a couple of methods here. First one I think we should do is a public void move camera. So let's do public void move cam. We'll just call it move cam. That's fine. Inside here, let's do a little bit of testing. We'll say a vector 3, right? We're gonna assign a new position. We're gonna say equals to new vector 3. Instantiate this. We're gonna get our target in here. So target dot position. We're gonna get the x-axis first, right? And then we get target dot position dot y. Perfect. And then we're gonna say -10 since the camera is officially offset on all main cameras. Close with a semicolon. Okay. Now this is where the transport position comes in. This is where we can actually do the movement of the camera. So we're gonna say transform dot position, we're gonna say equals vector 3, particularly in this case, dot move towards open parenthesis transform dot position, and then we're gonna move towards the new position. So new position in this case, the variable we declared or instantiated, comma speed times time dot delta time. Okay, that should move it to our new position. So then let's test this. Let's save this right here, this script. Let's test this really quick. Actually, before I test, I'm probably gonna need a update in here because this is not gonna be updating. So let's do a update, fix update better, since it goes frame by frame. All right, so let's do move cam. We're not returning anything, so that's okay. All right, let's test this now. All right, so we have our main camera here. I'll make sure to put a speed. In this case, let's do a speed of 4. That's a good speed. Let's hit play. And yep, there you go. We move to our key right there from our player. Perfect. So now what we want to do is return back to our player. Okay, so you try that again. We hit play. Yep, we go straight to the key. But now we want to set like a timer to go back to the player and return as normal. So we're going to do, in this case, we're going to do like an if else here, and then we'll do a camera timer. So the camera timer we can do is right below here. Let's leave some space here. Let's do a public bool, so we can return either true or false, and then let's call it cam timer. Perfect. Well, actually, you know what? I think we'll need to set a variable here. So then let's declare something like a timer here. Let's say private float camera timer, and then we'll just for testing, let's set it to 3. Okay, on start. So in here we're gonna say if, right, camera timer, here we are, and it's gonna be anything greater than 0 in this case, right? We're gonna say camera timer minus equals time dot delta time. Okay, and then if this is the case, we're gonna return true. So return true. Perfect. Else, right here, we're gonna return false. So once it's anything 0, we're just gonna say it's gonna be false. Okay, seems easy enough. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna also call this on fixed update. We're gonna say cam timer, right? Call on update. Perfect. Let's say in this case, let's update this move cam here. Let's do an if section here. We'll say if cam timer right here. We're gonna say if it's true, then let's return this section here. So then let's cut this, paste it in like so, and then let's do an else here, an else to return back to the player. So we're gonna say if, right, our transform position is not with the player. So we're gonna say not, oops, equals player, oops, player, there we go, player dot position. We're gonna do this, we're gonna return back to the player. We're gonna say vector 3, right? We're gonna say new position again. That's okay, we can declare this one again, equals new vector 3. and then we'll say instead of target, we'll say player dot position dot x player, make sure not target, dot position dot y, right? And then minus 10 to return back to our original camera position. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna do the same thing, transform dot position. In this case, I guess we can just copy and paste. This isn't gonna change, so we can copy this and then let's paste it right there like so. Great, perfect. Excuse me. All right, so let's try this out. Let's hit save. All right. We don't need to do anything here. The speed's already set. Let's hit play. Let's see what happens. And yep, we go into our key and we return back. That's a little bit quick. So maybe I can set it a little bit longer. Let's set it to like, let's say 10. Let's try 10. Let's hit save. Let's see. We hit play. And yeah, we return to the key. And then after 10 or so seconds, we return back to the player. Right? And then now we can move around, free about, and we can move in our camera. Perfect. Excellent. So that's a simple key, section. But let's say we wanted to do like on a special trigger, right? Let's say we walked into, like an area we want to go into, and then we want to focus and, right? That's easy. You can just set up a simple trigger. And to do that, we're going to change the zone. So to do that, let's go back into our Visual Studio here. And let's do like a script here. Best script we can do is a public void. Let's do like a target change. So we can do is this. We can go public void, and then let's call this target change. All right, we're gonna try to get the string, a zone. In this case, whatever zone we wanted to say, we could be. Let's say we want to reuse this, right? We don't want to like write a whole new script. This is what's gonna make us easy to declare. It's gonna change the target whenever we need. We're gonna do a float camera timer, right? So we determine how far we want the camera to be focused on. Okay, so let's do target in this case equals zone. So let's say if it's like a new area with another tag, we can say, oh, let's focus on instead of this wall or something, whatever it may be. In this case, we're gonna use target equals zone. And yep, I think I have it right. Let's see. Target. Oh, sorry. Since this is a transform position, we can't just do that. That was my bad. Let's do game object dot find game object with tag. Right? I forgot. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna type zone here. Since this we can declare a string variable here. Dot transform. And that was my bad. Okay. Anyways, easy fix. Now we can say camera timer, right, equals camera timer. Perfect. So now anytime we do a trigger, we can call this target change, set the zone, whatever it may be, object. So we can have up to 2 more different zones. And then a camera timer. Okay, we can probably take this out now. Don't have to declare it. Let's set up a trigger. Let's do what if I do a particular trigger somewhere here, like a zone here, like an area. So let's do a simple sprite here. Let's go, for example, like a red zone, something like that. Let's do a 2D object. Let's just put in a sprite here. Actually, you know what? That's even better. Let's just create one simple sprite as an example. Let's see, sprites. Could I do this? No, maybe not. I can't. I guess I can't do this. Let's just say like one of these zone here, and then let's kind of tint it kind of like red. So we hit this red area, I'll shift over to this key. So let's tint this like right here, red. Perfect. And then let's do a simple box collider. So let's do box collider 2D. And oh, not regular box collider, sorry. Box collider 2D. There we go. We're gonna set this to trigger. And yeah, so if we hit this box, it's gonna focus here and then return back. All right, perfect. So then let's do a simple script here. Let's add component, new script. And then let's call this trigger, let's call it key. All right, so we know it's a trigger. Okay. So then let's go to trigger key here. We're gonna say reload. Let's delete all this mumbo jumbo. Don't need it. Okay, so now let's create our trigger. We're gonna do a simple void on trigger. And I always get this wrong. Trigger enter 2D. Make sure it's capital D. I always mix it up. Let's call this one collider 2D. We'll call it call enter. Not like calling it call enter. But you can call this, declare this, whatever you want. Okay? Perfect. So we'll say if call enter dot tag equals actually to player. We'll call in our script, and in our script we'll say something like camera manager. Actually, before that, I didn't declare it as static, but I can do that real quick. Public void public static void. There we go. Let's save this. Let's go back into Unity, and then we can declare these as statics too. So let's do private static transform, and then same with this player, static here. And let's give it timer too. No, probably not player, but the timer, yes, we can declare this as a static. There we are. Let's hit save. Let's go to trigger, and then now let's just declare our variable change, or what was it? Zone change? Target change. There we go. Target change, and then it's gonna ask for the variable for zone. In this case, let's call this one as close parentheses, quotations, key. Camera timer, let's do 10F. Okay, there we go. Let's hit save, and then let's test this script. We'll just say, we'll call this one something else. I'll call this step here. Okay, so it's set to trigger, and we got our script here. Let's test it out. Let's hit play. All right, we got our player here. It's moving along perfectly. Once we step here, let's see. Yep, we move here. And once the timer is done, it returns back. Perfect. So let's just do a little bit more of a test. Let's say, let's move this square further down here, let's say. All right, let's hit play. All right, we're moving along. Da, 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 da. You never know, right? We step here on the trigger zone. Boop. We go straight to the key. We focus in, and now we return back. Perfect. And this is great if you want to set more objects. Let's say we want to set like another, like a wall or something, or another object, right? We can do the same thing. We can have multiple objects in here. So if you want to do another set of, goals, maybe it could be like a box, or it could be a wall covered in here. but we want the player to focus on that specific item, like a main goal, like an exit. It could be anything. We can do it through triggers. Okay, so that's I hope that wasn't too long, and like I said, if you guys have any questions, leave in questions in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the tutorial, and if you want, I can go into more detail, and I can do a little bit more tutorials. Okay, thanks everyone for watching, and just subscribe and like my video if you liked it. Thanks.